What's going on, everyone? This is Devin, and I'm going to come at you with a little bit of a preview for Loretta Lynn's that is coming up this next week. I'm going to be dropping probably daily. We'll hit through the different kind of classes based on CCs and then break it down when we hit the big bikes into CBA and vet classes. As I don't know if I'm going to do every single class. As for vet, we'll see. If I have the time to break them all down, I will. So basically, what I'm going to look at is results from the regionals to kind of base this off of. Plus, if I know names or recognize names, I might rank them a little bit higher to see how they're going to finish. It's probably going to be more when I get to the A and B classes because that's when it gets a little bit more focused. But there's some kids that might be in like the schoolboy classes that I might recognize. Starting off with the 65 here in this round. So first class I'm looking at is class number 29, and that is 65, 10 to 11. And so looking at the riders, I got them ranked kind of through who finished first is kind of like kids I'm looking at, finished first at the regions. So first up on my list, and these are no specific order of kind of kids I'm going to be watching for to win these classes. This is kind of 10 or less I'm trying to keep them to who I'm looking at. But for this, we'll start off with Justin Schuff out of Mechanicsburg, Ohio. We got Ray Ritter from Alpine, California. Brody, I'm going to probably ruin his last name. Pachico out of Boerne, Texas. Tace Morgan out of Claremont, Florida. Now, everyone knows Claremont, Florida is kind of a big area for pros, so maybe he gets to train with, at some of the tracks or something, it'd be kind of cool if he can. That would help out, I think, in this situation. I can't remember if it's one of the course tracks down there, I want to say. They have like a Loretta's type of class. Might be at the goat farm or something. So I wonder if he could get over there and get practice on that. That'd be good for him. And then we got Cooper Johnson out of White Oak, Pennsylvania. We got Maverick Gish out of Purcell, Oklahoma. We got Ryder Derigo out of Corona, California, another hotbed kind of area for motocross. So hopefully, he's able to practice and have some riding coaches and stuff that help him out. And then Jacob Badgley out of Snohomish, Washington, I think is how you say that city. So, couple kids. So, again, I don't really recognize any of these names. I haven't heard any of these names. I don't know what kind of support they get, if it's just all family. If they get any type of support, they might get some locals. I'm kind of going to be, looking at, I'm going to highlight just the couple names here that I recognize from, like, kind of hotbed motocross areas to kind of watch them and see how they do. So that was Ryder Derigo out of Corona, California, and Tace Morgan, and out of Claremont, Florida. So all these riders won their regions, and there's some kids that probably got second or might not have good luck that could be a surprise. There's a Timothy Scott out of Hagerstown, Maryland, who he has a single-digit number, so that would mean that he placed in the class last year. So he might be someone to watch out to kind of come up that placed second, got beat at regionals, but might have just mailed it in, or had bad starts, or so he could be someone to kind of keep an eye on. I don't see any other names that have single-digit numbers, so yeah, that'd be the only other kid, I guess, to throw up in kind of that mix that I see for this 65, 10 to 11 class. As now, again, with Loretta's, it's a 3-moto format, so you really don't know who's going to win, what the weather's going to be like. It could be completely muddy. It could be a muddy 1 race and 2 good motos. It could be muddy 2 races. That's the crazy thing about Loretta's is, racing all week long like that. in the three moto format, you never know if it's gonna be clean. So bike issues, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. So it can sometimes throw these, who you think is gonna win completely out. So for the next class, we're gonna jump to um, class number 28, which is the 65 10 to 11 limited, and we'll start right off with Nolan Ford out of Fairview, California. Won his region. Easton Graves out of Walker, Louisiana. He won his region. Cooper Johnson out of White Oak, Pennsylvania. Brayton Craiglow out of Panama City Beach, Florida. Caleb Lutterreal, I think that's how you say. Luttrell. Bloomsburg, Missouri. Tace Morgan, again out of Claremont, Florida. So he's made it in two classes, so that's typically a good sign. And so, again, good probably be watching for him. Brody Moss out of Glendale, Arizona. Maddox Temmerman out of Vassau, California. So, Fairview, California kids always seem to be fast out here, even though the tracks are a little different. And again, with this I'm going to scan through to see if there's any single-digit numbers for riders that would have raced last year in this class and done well. Not seeing any. So, see, with the 65s and the 50s, those classes, again, the kids are still kind of, it's very rare to see, like, high dominance, I guess I would say, through all three motos and stuff like that. So if you can pull a three-moto sweep at Loretta's on 65, you're looking, it's a really strong showing. Definitely, as if you're going to be moving out of these 10 to 11 classes, you're typically going to be moving up to 85s next year, if not already riding 85 a little bit here and there at your local scene. So I would say watch these kids and to see, if anyone can be dominant for, when they start getting into the 85s and super mini classes, that's when we're seeing less support from the factories and stuff than, that used to be around for the last few years. It seems they've died down a little bit, and now we're just kind of going to just big bike stuff, but definitely could help out if you have a good showing, and this is the first, 65 is the first bike that you're going to be dealing with shifting stuff. These are the older classes so far, the 10 to 11. So, they definitely are probably used to shifting. They've had a couple of years now where we'll get next to the couple 65 classes that are 7 to 9, where you got kind of beginner 65 kids to, a year or two on it, depending on size and stuff like that. So, we'll move on to class number 27 on the roster, and that's 65, 7 to 9. So let me filter through here quick to see who we got that were winners. It's at the regionals. We got an Alex Campagli. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Out of Val Springs, California. Sawyer Geck. I apologize for names. If I mispronounce anyone's names. Alpine, Wyoming. Carter Gray out of St. Charlesville, Ohio. Tago Gross out of Caledonia, Ohio. Aiden McKitty out of Huffman, Texas. Caden Nightgale out of Mounds, Oklahoma. Eden Steinbrecher out of Fairbanks, California. So again, a couple California kids. And like with the Californias, it always shocks me. I guess they probably don't get quite as many participants as when you look at the overall of how many kids go to regionals and stuff compared to, out here where I'm at in Michigan. And so I guess I kind of understand why they don't quite take as many, but it always seems like there's some fast kids coming out of California and stuff. So the few that win the typically regionals that are close, like up in Washington, Washougal areas, a lot of times where they do that regional, and then a lot of times out at Pala or Glen Helen or something is where they kind of do the other one. So, those kids I think will be fast. As Oklahoma's fairly close to, Loretta's in Tennessee there. So, Nightingale, Caden Nightingale out of Mounds and Oklahoma. He could, and then as well as Ohio is not that far. Texas, I know there's quite a few tracks out in Texas, so I'm sure he gets lots of ride in. It's hot, that should help him with the humidity and stuff. If it's, if the weather's super hot, like it can be most of the time it is so. This class, I really don't have a set person, and so, but I'm gonna say it's gonna come out of one of these winners here, and that I'm gonna be looking for again. And I don't see, just quick glance, I'm not seeing any single digit numbers in this class, so no returning riders for this class trying to defend a good result. So we'll move into class number 26. That's a 65 7-9 limited. Here we got for winners that are in this class. That's Caden Nightingale again from Mounds, Oklahoma. Chance Alberg out of Parker, Colorado. That's Sawyer Geck out of Alpine, Wyoming again. Chase Brennan, California, Winchester. Braxton Baldock out of Liberty, Kentucky. And Waylon Bollinger out of Cairo, Georgia. Cairo's a big training facility area. Kentucky's close. California kids are fast. This Sawyer kid from Wyoming, he's in 2 classes, so he's fast. So the 7-9 classes, I think, are going to be fairly good classes to watch, and then would not surprise me to see some of these kids that are second place here that could sneak in and finish second at the regionals. And then who knows if there was again any of these kids that third, fourth that just didn't have one good moto or something. And Levi Letty, I think he has an uncle or grandpa that lives in the Michigan area that races snowmobiles that I know. So he's always a kind of a kid that comes up to Michigan, rides and stuff sometimes. So he's normally pretty quick. I know he's kind of making the transition to 65 starting this year. I think last year he started at some local races, and now this year going for Loretta's on the 65 as well as I think still one of the 50 classes yet. And we'll get into the 50 classes as here in another day or two. But so hopefully this quick little review of who kind of, I guess, some riders to look out for at Loretta's is in the 65cc classes. Like I said, not trying to say that any of the other riders that in the regions that didn't get first can't be up there and win. It's definitely possible. Like I said, Loretta's is a tough thing. You have 3 motos. You never know what the weather conditions are going to be. So definitely could be some upsets, but I would say these kids are probably the ones that, since winning their regions, are looking at, coming in to have a strong showing at Loretta's. So thank you for watching.